Sometimes you're not interested in all data, but just in a few selected data records. Let's have a look at an example. What you can see here is somehow a list of different transactions which have been made. In column A you find the date, in column B you find a customer, C is a product, D is the price of the product, E is the amount of products, F is a total, the product of E and D, and finally you find the status, namely if something has been paid or if the payment is still open. And you can see there's lots of data, and maybe you're just interested in a specific customer, a product, in a specific date, or a combination of all of those things. An easy way to identify what is in here is to simply filter. For this one you have to select the columns, and then you choose this filter option. And what you can see is then that you have this small triangle at all these selected rows. It's good to have a title row on the top in here, and now you can start selecting. So if I click on here, then first everything is selected. So if I deselect, select all, now all selections disappear. And now I can choose, for example, customer 04, and in the background, because of this auto apply, you see directly that only those cells, those lines, those rows which include custom 4 are selected. For me that's fine, so I click on the next one, and now I'm interested maybe in just a period, a certain period. So I can go for select all, and what you can see here is directly a hierarchy because we have a date, a column with dates. So I deselect, and I'm just maybe interested in what has been happened in February, March, and you can directly see January and April are not offered because for the given selection there is no value for January and April. Let's choose some more. Well, let's simply choose all of 2022. And finally, I'm just interested in those ones which are open, which are not paid yet. So I have, in a very simple way, identified all these three values, all the three records, which all show customer 04, which all show the year 2022, and which shows the status open. Now maybe I'm interested to get the total, but this can become a little bit of a problem, because if I'm entering here the sum and I select these values, you directly see it's much too much. It's not, this should be somewhere like 2,500. And it's much more. So what has happened? You can see I have selected not only 3 values, but all values starting from row 43 to row 253. So very many values. So continuing to work with selected cells can be an issue. So selecting things, it's maybe not guaranteed that you get the right values. One thing to overcome it is to again select these cells, go to find and select go to special, and here say visible cells only. I click on OK. Now some marking happens in the background. I click on copy, and if I go to another sheet, I can now paste all my data in here, and there are no filters anymore. So just the visible data from the last worksheet has been taken, and if I now include this sum formula and I select all these value, then I get the right total. However, there's a problem. If I go back in here and I deselect all these filters, clear filter, or remove all the filters and change some data in here, I take customer 04, I set these open to paid, then this will not be moved over, deployed in here as well. So I've really taken a copy which is no longer linked to the real values. So you always face some problems if you first filter and then make a copy and then copy the data, continue working on this data. It's always only a snapshot for a given point in time. If the raw data is later on changed, it will not be reflected in my copy.